You shall not pass.
Say what?
You shall not pass.
McBacon, he's calling you a Balrog. Well, maybe a little in the eyes.
Neither of you shall pass.
Until the train comes.
What? Oh, you haven't seen the last of me!
He's right there. It's on a loop. Wanna go get something to eat? OzsomeFun! What is up, dudes, dudettes, and dudes who defy description? And a hot, toasty, warm welcome to another awesome episode of OzsomeFun in Minecraft with me, Oz. Hello, it's nice to see ya. In our last episode, we worked on this awesome tree farm where we can see they're chopping some logs right now as we speak. And before that, we worked on the iron farm industrial area. But today, we're taking things to a whole another level. See what I did there? Whole another level. Let's just have a look. I'll tell you the plan. So down here, we have a hole to bedrock with one piece of podzol in the middle. Who's been pooping in the middle of my bedrock hole? Anyway. What we're going to do is we're going to do a build that's inspired by the Mines of Moria from the Lord of the Rings. Now, we're not going to build an exact replica. It's going to be a lot smaller than I imagine that to be because it would be a humongous, epic build. So it's going to be a mini Mines of Moria. And I've never seen the films. I've only ever read the books, so I don't really know what happens in the films, what it looks like in the films. I've maybe seen pictures from the films when I've looked for inspiration, but I've got lots of ideas for little bits we're going to put in that'll all come together to make something special. But the thing I think is the most fun about the Mines of Moria is that the way they're spelled, Moria, right? And in Scottish, we would pronounce that as Moira, right? And it's a woman's name, traditionally a woman's name in Scotland, Moira. So it's like the Mines of Moira. So it's like this, and it's kind of an old-fashioned name. So like I have older members of my family and stuff who are called Moira. So it sounds like the Mines of Moira. It sounds like a place that an old woman lives. In Scotland, but that's not what ours is going to be. So what we're going to have here is we're going to, on the top, either here or here, I haven't decided yet, we're going to have a dwarf head statue. The statue is going to have a train, a rail track coming out of it. And so if it was, let's go around here. So the rails, there'll be carts will be going round and round in a looping system, right? So they'll come out of here, shoot out of the dwarf's mouth, and then it'll just fall. You'll fall like straight down and then land on some track near the bottom, and then the track will guide you through the build back up and then somehow loop back to the top. So that's my idea. So what we need is obviously statue at the top, the rail car. Oh, hi, zombie. And down at the bottom here, what we're going to put on the bedrock is we're going to grab lava. Oh, thanks for grabbing some lava for me. Appreciate it. And we're going to put lava in between some of the different holes. We're going to do the cloudy glass thing over the top. So you do like a layer of glass, then like an two empty layers, layer of glass, two empty layers, layer of glass. Pain in the glass to say glass too many times. That's the idea. And where we're going to begin with the Mines of Moira, aka Moria, is by turning this, instead of being a big square, let's make it more circular. So we'll start by building a circle around the top, and then that way we can like build out the edges and make it look more interesting and cavernly shaped and less square. So we'll start with the circle, and then we can plan where we're going to build the minecart and the statue on the top. So let's grab some blocks and get making the perfect circle. Boom! There we go. Just like that, we have a magical hole. I just thought it's not. There's going to be a few other time lapses definitely coming up in the episode, so you don't need to see them of such basic things. So let me show you what we've got. So what we've got on the bottom here is we've made a kind of bit of a circle. I think we're going to roughen up this circle around the top and the bottom. Right now it's a bit too perfect. but it starts to give us something to work with. Now, we've gone for the layered glass effect that you can see there, and we've gone for, I think there's 5 layers of glass with gaps in between them. In fact, let's jump down and we'll take a look and hope that not too many mobs fall on our head. Nope, not today. So yeah, I think we've got about 5 layers of glass. It's really cool. I've never played around with this effect before. It's really interesting. I like it. And what I'm thinking is we're going to use black stone at the bottom. So this is like a test section that I've done. I think this will look really good if we do some black stone. We'll mix something else in with the black stone as well too. So we've got this kind of dark, fiery pit at the bottom. And then up at the top, you can see the circle again. It's like it's a little bit too neat. So what I've been working on is this is a little test bit here. So we've got some nice polished basalt coming down from the top there. We've also got a little bit of cobblestone mixed in there. And I think if we roughen this up around the edges and transition it from the lighter greys into the darker ones, it'll be good. Because the thing is, I've never really used very much stone and cobblestone and blackstone in many of the builds that I've made. We did use a little bit of the polished basalt in this build for the first time, but what's good about that is that's above ground, so if we keep our polished basalt below ground, it shouldn't clash with the surrounding builds. And I guess I just haven't used stone because, well, it's freaking everywhere, man. You don't really need to use it. You just use it as a temporary block rather than anything else. So that gives you the idea, and you can see where some areas here where I played around when I was filling it in with roughening it up, it does definitely look better here. But actually what's really interesting is you might wonder how come you've got this giant hole and it's totally rough around this side and it's really smooth on this side. And the reason is actually this was excavated in 4 sections. So if you imagine like it squared off, and these 2 sections were excavated before I had a beacon and these ones after. So after, the haste is just so out of control, the haste 2, that you can't help but smash up loads of stuff by accident. So that shows you the difference, the neat you can do when you don't have the beacon, the craziness without it. And I actually prefer this. So what I think we might do is as we go along and we're adding stuff in, we might also blow some holes in the wall with some TNT. And about here, I've just put in for reference is where the mouth of the dwarf statue is going to be. So we're going to have Doin, is it Doin? Dane? The Dwarf King and a Gloin. They've all got names that sound pretty similar. But anyway, we're going to have the dwarf head here, and you're going to come flying out and down into there. But first, we want to get working with this texture. And for some reason in Minecraft, this is really one of my favorite things to do. I love naturally building stuff up when you're just kind of eyeballing it and going by how you feel rather than a fixed design. It's really fun. So, you know what to do? We've got a lot of transforming to do, a lot of blocks to place, and the best way to do that is to hit. What is it, Mr. Zombie? Hit what? Yep, you're exactly right. Fast forward. This is coming together fantastic. I am loving the foundation that we are creating here. And guys, we have done a lot. Some of it was in the time lapse, some of it wasn't. And I hope you enjoyed the funky new angles that I attempted in the time lapse there. I thought it looked kind of interesting, kind of different. So we have got an awesome little dwarf statue at the top here. This is, I don't know if it's Durin, shall we say? It's King Durin. Why not? It's definitely one of the Dwarven kings. And yeah, as I've been building, I've been able to have a bit more of a think. A bit of a listen to the Silmarillion, the one that came after the Lord of the Rings books. the Soma, that one. And yeah, just a bit more thought of it. And obviously, like I looked at there's some awesome maps online. You should Google the Mines of Moria and have a look at this awesome overtop blueprint. Because if this was the real Mines of Moria, this would just be one section of it, and it would have to go underground, like all around here, all underneath here, all over here, probably all the way up to like this mount over here. It could be as huge as that. So what we're going for is our mini Mines of Moria. So this is just one section. So we've got to make it seem like it can go on further on, and we'll look at that in a sec, how we can do that. And I can't decide yet whether it's going to be totally abandoned or whether it's going to be active, as in we might have armor stands. You can make armor stands miniatures, so we could make dwarf miners and things working away in this area. Is it turning nighttime? Seems like it's getting dark. Your eyes are getting brighter, Durin. A new day dawns. So yeah, we have got this awesome statue up at the top here, and of course this is centered perfectly. Let's hope there's no mobs inside. I saw a skelly in the time lapse. But we've got the place for the minecart to come out of here and fall down into the pit. And how great is this roughened up pit? It looks particularly awesome. Ah, that's what happens when you cut off half the cliff. You don't land the way you think you're gonna. How good does it look from up here when you look down in it? That top, it's much more roughened up. It really works well, and it stands in stark contrast from the rest of the area. So let's jump on down, and we can take a look inside the hole where we have got, of course, our glass pit from earlier, but we've brought up the darkness on the side. I also used some TNT, bows and arrows and things to blow out some of the edges, so it's still square when you look down in it, but there's no sort of perfect straight lines going down the edges like there was anymore. But you might be thinking, Oz, how do we get into this place from the hole? Well, you don't, because if you remember, there is a secret gate that they go through in the Lord of the Rings, and they have to use the magic word to get inside, and the magic word's like friend in Elvish. So I thought that we could have this gate here, and we can have two big pretty trees out there that'll just frame off the edge of this area nice, and we can actually have a little tunnel here. Maybe we can even have a door. We could have a piston door, and you have to put the word friend on a bit of paper and feed it in so it opens. So it's like you use the spell. Oh, I like that. Yeah, I think we'll try to do that. And then if I can remember the way, yeah, this takes you inside. So you come in from this secret tunnel, and of course this is the Mines of Moria. It is a dangerous place. As you can see, there are orcs everywhere around here. Ow. Oh, you've got thorns? How dare you, Sam? So now we've got a pathway. Jeez. Excuse me. I shall pass. You can stay. Oh, I'm going to need to eat and everything. Oh, I can't believe I have to fight. I don't like fighting. So now we've got a pathway. We've got loads of space off here that we can make other rooms. So what are we going to make in these other rooms? Well, probably some lighting, I would guess. We're going to make things like maybe a throne room. Maybe we're going to have not just a throne room, but there's another skeleton. A throne room. We need to have a kind of treasure room, like a treasury as well. We need to have maybe like there's a record keeping room, isn't there, where Gandalf and that find out about what happened to the was it Balin and the other dudes who tried to retake the Mines of Moria, in between the Hobbit and the Lord of the Rings books. Oh, down here, here we go. We can also have maybe like a furnace area, and also that is a creep falling on our head. I heard it fall. Okay, I don't know where it is. Okay, I think we're safe here. So yeah, we can have a furnace, and they have this stuff called mithril, obviously, like this magic metal, and I guess that's netherite, so maybe we need to have some representation of mithril mining going on too. There's certainly a lot we can do to start filling out the interior here, but we do have a way around it. But my gosh, this place is super dangerous. Oh, thank you for showing me the path. I appreciate it. You're spot on as well. That is the path that leads us down to the bottom. Okay, we finally reclaimed the Mines of Moria for our people. So it's time to start moving on with the next step. Hey! I love this. It's so much fun. Okay, yeah, I've added in the minecart. Maybe not like the absolute final design of it, but at least we know it's all in place and it all works. So let's see if we can avoid being hit. Okay, here we go. Hey! So you start by dropping down here. Oh, that minecart's fallen off, it appears. It looks like it's sitting. How did it land there? Okay, but yeah, this takes you all the way around. It's pretty fast, and that's just to stop you from getting hit by any of the mobs. I like the mobs for kind of atmosphere for the Mines of Moria, but it is super dangerous. I've been blown up so many times. So it takes you all the way around. Whoa! Just avoided him. All the way to the top, and then eventually, hopefully it gives you a chance to look out and peek out at different bits and elements, and then you drop down and land back here. And I hope, of course, that nothing lands with you. Okay, that'll have wrecked that, but we'll sort it out. So that's our minecart in place now. I really wish I knew how that minecart ended up there. It must have bounced off of something or something to get there. So we need to work in this bridge somehow. Here comes his friend. Hi. You came a long way for nothing. So we'll have to deal with this bridge at the bottom here. And I've started doing a little bit of work on some of the rooms. So if we have a look here, is this a mine shaft? Ah, here's some mine shafts. Yep, it's a pretty dangerous area. Go away. Right. But we've got a mine shaft here, and in all of them we're utilising. You can see a creeper there. The glass effect to make the mine shaft look like it's going further on. Here's another one here. Just the very basics of it so far. It's a little archway. Some torches on the side, and again, this is one when you look down, it appears to go on for a long, long way. So I've started adding those. I also added in the starting part here of our treasure hoard. You can see we've got this skeleton protecting it. So we've got a nice stairway that will take us. Okay, maybe we need to light this place up a bit more. We've got a nice sort of stairway coming down here into the treasure hoard. How big we'll make it, I'm not sure at this exact moment. And then if we come down to here, I've added in a nice big cavern. I was playing around with a cavern. Where's the stairs? Here. So we've got a cavern, probably full of mobs, I would guess. Yep, what's this one? And this is like our sort of nod to the Balrog. So if you stand here, it's kind of hard to see it, but... That's worse than a Balrog. Anyway, if you stand just about here, look there, you can see the eyes. Oh, maybe it just looks black on YouTube, who knows? But you can just about see the Balrog in the back of this giant chasm that we've got going on in there. So, time to keep working on some more of these additional rooms, now that we've got the main things planned out. Welcome back! I'm excited to show you this. This is it's just the initial framework of it, but this is the Doors of Durin, right? And there's a button there, but if you remember, to open the Doors of Durin, you have to say friend in a Elvish Sindarin, which is melon. So you throw it in, melon on the magic paper, you get it back on this side. And of course the door opens too. Isn't that an awesome little feature? So we need to make this look more like the Doors of Durin from the book. Add some trees on the outside. It's going to be spectacular. But I've added a lot into here. Now we do need to go in armed because Khazad-dûm is a dangerous place. So you see I've started to do things like add bits of wall and design and flooring into the different rooms, some pillars. We're going to add a lot of fine details in this next section, but here's one that I had a lot of fun with, like the torch that's been knocked out of the holder, while the other ones are still in place. I like stuff like that. We're going to put in a lot of little things like that. So I think we're going to make this like the records room that was mentioned, where Gandalf reads the story of the dwarves that died in the mine. So we're going to kind of do a bit of that. Down here at our mine shafts, where we've got infinite glass, we've added in some trackage, bit of ore lying around, and a bit of a broken upside down minecart going on there. Down here too, we've got one more mine shaft, but we've got our treasure hoard going on down here. This is looking really cool with nice infinite glass in the back as well, making this look epic. But yeah, a lot of AFKing at the gold farm. Whoa, to do that. As soon as you hear that noise in Khazad-dûm, you gotta run, or everything you built's gonna be destroyed. I've also got to try and make sure I don't. This is why this doesn't have one of these, because you got hit by an arrow. But yeah, you know, it's a dangerous place. See you later. So if you come down here, these are really fun as well. And if I come and stand about here, you should be able to see this. This is a little dwarven furnace, right? You can see we've got the little dwarf moustache and face, little chimneys going on. I wasn't sure whether I have these operational or non-operational, because this place is supposed to be abandoned. But I love this design. It's really fun. Again, I've played around with the infinite glass, so it appears to go back for a long way. We've just got 3 of these in position. Ooh, it's starting to get dark. And the last thing I've added, the last room that we've put in, is the throne room that you can see across the way there. That is currently, we've got King Creeper in position there as well, but we've got this nice throne going on in the back here with some gold on it, with some burning things. And what we need to do now is bring all of these different areas. We kind of need to blend them all in. That's the main thing to do, because this, originally my idea here was, I've got this big hole that I dug out for no particular reason. We just want to neaten it up, and I thought it'd be cool to have the dwarf statue on the top and the funky hole, and then it's growing arms and legs, as all my builds do. And we've started to build a mini Mines of Moria with throne rooms and furnace rooms and mine shafts and secret doors and everything. So we still have a whole bunch to do, but what we're going to do now is blend all these scenes in, and we'll do that by using collapsed Rockfalls. So we'll make Rockfalls out of things like blackstone and cobblestone, and make it look as if we'll dig a bit more of a hole out of there, and we'll collapse some rubble down around the throne room. And this will help it make sense, because the scenes are kind of separated by this massive hole, and we need to find some way to unite everything, and we can do that through the idea that it's abandoned, that it's distressed, the place is falling apart. And yeah, I think that'll be really good. So I'm going to do the Rockfalls, the distressing. We're also going to add in all the little fine details into things like chests lying around and pickaxes and other little mini details like that. It's really a creeper party going on over there, isn't there? This guy he's scared of the dark. Aw. So yeah, we're going to add all the fine details in, and then once we've done that, all we've got to do is our terraforming on the outside, and this build will be nearly done. I'm so excited. So let's keep on building. Dudes, dudettes, and dudes who defy description, I am so hyped to finally have completed the interior. Come on, let's see what I've done. Starting here, we've got some actual doors for the Doors of Durin. If you come up to them, speak friend and enter. Now, if you don't have a bit of paper with Milan written on it already, you can get a bit of paper here, name on here. Then, of course, you just fling it in here. Hope there's not a mob on the other side. Whew. Had to rebuild it twice from creepers. But there we go. We're in to the Mines of Moria, into Khazad-dûm. And evidently, when I rebuilt it, I haven't filled it in correctly, because you can hear a skelly inside. Now, you can see already we've got lots of nice little detailing here. We've got mushrooms. We've got lovely spider webs. We've got lapis lazuli. And, of course, bits of paper and other scraps as we come down here to the record room. Now, if you remember, first of all, check for mobs, because it's Khazad-dûm. If you remember, this is where Balin's band kept a record, didn't they, in the Book of Marzipan. They kept a blog, right? And things like, we cannot get out, they have taken the second bridge. And so here we've got the bits of notes, they are coming. In here in the record room in Khazad-dûm. And in the back here, I've got this really awesome set of hobbit armor and a little hobbit sword for them there. But look at all these funky little details with the books and the pillars of books and the bits of paper on the ground. I've had a lot of fun with items scattered on the ground and hanging on the walls and lying around. It really gives it this detail. And here is our zombie. Here is our rockfall that we talked about. So remember, we talked about the idea behind this place is that it's run down, it's been abandoned for years, it's collapsed in a lot of places, it's full of orcs that shoot arrows at you when you try and to record a bit of your video. And here's our rock falls. So we use a mixture of cobblestone and blackstone to see this is fallen out and collapsed into half of this record room. And that's why none of the rooms are perfect and have a perfect set pattern. They're all a bit random as well. So you'll see more of these rock falls as we go through. Now you can see down here, this zombie's been stuck in the in the spider web back there for ages. But we've got more shovels and ore lying around, picks and other bits lying. We also added lighting. Now I put floor lighting only on the inner edges. So if you'll notice, it's only lit up around the inner edges, but further back it's dark, which is dangerous but atmospheric. And yeah, I got some nice broken rails here, chains. Looking good. Now my favourite room probably has to be this one, the treasure hoard, because there's so many varieties of things that you can use to spice it up. We've got bits of gold, we've got nuggets, we've got armor stands, we've got helmets, we've got swords and other bits and bobs lying everywhere. It's so awesome. And I've put lighting in, just using the same colour as the ore to hide lighting, to make the ore appear to glow. Or the blocks here, the minerals glowing. You've always got to be careful here. Look, there's Creepsby. He's behind the glass. That's where I like him. So this is my favourite room. It just feels a bit like the room in Scrooge McDuck, where he dives in. A little bit like you might expect a dragon to be hanging around on this hoard. We also got a nice little hanging chandelier there, and a slight different variation of this kind of fire hanging thing as well. But yeah, I love this room. The detail on it's wicked. We also put in other random little details like piles of chests and barrels and bits of ore in some of the edges that you don't visit when you kick around. We've also played around with this bridge here. This is the bridge of Khazad-dûm. This is supposed to be where Gandalf fought the Balrog, and it's broken bridge. And this is where our minecarts go around. Now, I have had the minecarts going around, but I think they bump into mobs a lot and slow down and stop, so we might see them as we come around. Sounds like we're getting closer to some evil orcs. We're basically at the end here, where we just put in a lot more detailing, like little cauldrons where they would be putting stuff to cool it down when they take it out of the furnaces, lots of grindstones, other little bits of details. Ah, here you are, sir. You're finally here. And then I like to think of this as like the Thunderdome. So if you come onto the bridge and then like come into the middle, usually something comes out of here and you can fight them in the arena. But thankfully, it's pretty quiet right now. So that is the interior of our Khazad-dûm Mines of Moria, and it is just pretty awesome. If we come and have a look here, last little bit, I knew there was one more bit I wanted to show you before we go to the outside, and that's our throne room where we added in. It's actually probably better to look at it from on the opposite side. Let's go here. Almost died, but not quite. Yeah, if we look here, we can see we've got a lot of rockfall and collapsing down in the throne room. Absolute ton of it. And just behind it, you can make out the throne. But oh, the detail on this is not what I planned, and I've just had so much fun coming up with more and more and more ideas to keep strengthening and adding so much to this. And there's so much to explore and check out. But now that we've done the interior, what we have to do on the exterior is tidy up this entire area, bring this kind of pattern all the way out, add in more detail, because right now it's just full blocks. So we can half slabs, walls, stairs. Maybe we want a little, I can't decide whether I want a crane hanging over the edge with some ore on a little platform being hauled up. Might do that, you'll see in the time lapse, I guess. I've got an idea for some kind of street lighting that we can use around here. We might also want to make a kind of path that leads from here towards here. Maybe not. Maybe I just come to the edge here. We'll see. It's one of these things that's like a bit of a flow once we get going. And then the other big thing that we've got to do is place some big massive trees here around the edge, filling in this bit nicely and working in our Doors of Durin. So with all this exterior terraforming to get done around the Misty Mountains, you know what we've got to do? It's time to hit fast forward. Wow, look at this angle. Isn't it fantastic? Ah, terrific. No, with trees in Minecraft, it's always about the angles. This tree, look at that shape. It's fantastic. Just got to tell you, this isn't the 100% final. We've basically only got two things left to do in this world, two main things left to do before we head to the 118 universe later in the year. But the last thing that we've got to do, I'll fly up here so you can see, is terraforming this area here. So if you'll notice from Tower Records, to fit Tower Records on there at the time I built it ages ago, I just built this horrible thing. So we need to terraform from here, around here, underneath the bridge to the side here. Here's an XP farm that doesn't even work anymore because it was patched. There's a fish farm that doesn't work anymore because it was patched too. That's how old this world is. So when we do that, we're going to do a bit more work into embedding these trees into the stone. I wanted to make them kind of petrified. That was what I was going for. But I really love this angle. It's worked really well. I wasn't sure about spruce, but I think it's the right color for the area. And this does, of course, create our entrance into the Doors of Durin. So again, speak friend and enter. All you got to do is put melon on your bit of paper and you get inside. I'm still carrying mine from earlier. And I cannot tell you how many times I broke this door rebuilding it. Top advice for you, if you're ever going to put in a redstone door, design what's going to go around it at the same time so that you can build it. Because I'd like put a block in it, it'd block some redstone, and then like the thing would come out the other end, but it wouldn't open the door. So that's just my advice for you there. But that's fantastic. Let's come up to the top here, and we can have a look around, maybe from the trees down at our area. I love this exterior. It's chaotic, beautiful. To me anyway, it's pretty chaotic, but it's pretty awesome. So you've got our dwarf statue. We've got these street lights in here. You can see that we've got the metal poles with a nice thing. They're using iron, because I guess it's what they've pulled out. And I've chucked some gold in a storage container, some diamonds as well. There's no point in putting iron, I thought, there, because the iron factory is where the iron's produced. This is where gold and other gems and things are done. And again, we use the thing of scattering gold pieces around. And you can see a close-up here of our lampposts too. So isn't this place awesome? Now, to also add in a little bit of life, well, dead life, we've put in some of these. These are, I think, underused quite a lot. Just remember that you can place these things from under the sea on any block. I thought to begin with they had to go on a coral block, but I forgot they can go on any block. You can stick them on the side, and they're really good. See the way they stand out? Adding something a little bit different to your exterior. But there we have it, folks. The Mines of Moria are completed. Oh no, what happened? I don't understand how this happens. Like, there's nowhere enough force for these things to overshoot and miss the bridge, but sometimes they do. Let's get these back in place. Okay, one. Give it a little break. How does it see? Ah, we didn't give it enough momentum. Boo! You suck. There's still one of them still going. Okay, push and fly. Hey, McBacon. What are you up to over there? Okay, that one's definitely gone. And the last one. And the last one. Oh, no, I bounced the other one the other direction. I hope that doesn't create a problem. See, that one worked absolutely fine. Terrific. Well, I guess that's all the time we've got left for today's episode of Awesome Fun. I hope you've enjoyed my own take on the mini Mines of Moria. It's been a lot of fun making Khazad-dûm, and I hope it's inspired you for your own build as well. Of course, if you have any questions about anything we've built, want to see any screenshots on the Twitter, feel free to get in touch in the comments below. And I'll see you next time for more awesome fun in Minecraft. It's bye from me, and a goodbye from McBacon. Say goodbye, McBacon. Hey, need to tell you something. I kind of dropped something down there. Yeah, it's you know, it's my favorite pickaxe. You think you could climb down and get it? Age before beauty. Hey!